There is a moment, and almost everyone has lived it, when you look around and realize that the life you are living no longer resembles the one you planned. The job consumes you, the relationships feel distant, your goals have become strangers, and the days blur into each other without meaning. That moment is not a crisis, that moment is an invitation. Most people, when they feel that everything is falling apart, do the worst possible thing: they wait. They wait for the chaos to settle on its own, for the right moment to arrive, for someone to show them the way. But here is what nobody tells you: the chaos never settles by itself. It only grows louder in the silence of your inaction. The question is not whether your life is out of order. The real question is whether you are willing to do what the majority will never dare to do. So, as the real question, what makes this topic impossible to ignore is precisely how universal it is. At some point, every person faces the unsettling feeling that control has slipped through their fingers. Not because they are weak, not because they made catastrophic decisions, but because life moves fast and we are rarely taught how to respond when it accelerates beyond our comfort zone. The problem is not the chaos itself. The problem is the story we tell ourselves about what that chaos means. So, you see, when things fall apart, the mind immediately searches for a culprit. We blame circumstances, other people, timing, bad luck, etc. And in doing so, we hand over the very power we desperately need to reclaim. Every second you spend explaining why things went wrong is a second stolen from building what could go right. But there is something even more dangerous than blame, and most people never see it coming. It's the moment when you start thinking, what is the real trap? The real trap is comfort within the disorder. Once we adapt to dysfunction, it starts to feel normal. The exhaustion becomes familiar. The frustration becomes background noise. And slowly, without realizing it, we begin to defend the very chaos that it is destroying us. We call it just how life is. We call it being realistic. What we are actually doing is surrendering. We are surrendering about this. Taking control of your life doesn't begin with a dramatic transformation. It does not require a perfect plan, a new year, a Monday morning, or a sign from the universe. It begins with a single precise decision. You choose to stop being a passenger in your own story. So, what does that like in practice? It looks like identifying ruthlessly and honestly the three areas of your life that are generating the most disorder. Not 20 areas, not a long list of problems, 3 only items. Because focus is not a luxury. It is the only currency that produces real change. So think about this for a moment. Here is where most self-improvement advice fails you. It hands you a long list of habits and tells you to transform everything at once. And so you try, you exhaust yourself, you fail, and you conclude that the problem is you. It is not you, it is the strategy. Sustainable control is built through small, deliberate actions repeated with almost unreasonable consistency. Not through bursts of motivation that disappear by Thursday. The people who have genuinely reconstructed their lives after chaos share one invisible thread. They didn't wait to feel ready. They act while afraid, while uncertain, while the ground was still shaking. And through that action, the ground stabilized. What separates them from the ones still waiting is something so simple it almost sounds like a cliché. And yet almost no one applies it. But pay attention. The answer is this. They took ownership, complete unconditional ownership, not of the circumstances, but of their response to them. Because while you cannot always control what happens to you, you hold absolute authority over how you interpret it, what you decide next, and how persistently you move forward. So your life is not too far gone. You are not too late. The disorder around you is not evidence of failure. It is evidence that something important is demanding your attention, your courage, and your decision. So here's where this ends and where you begin. Stop negotiating with the chaos. Name the 3 areas. Take one action today. Do not wait for clarity to act. Act and clarity will follow then. Control is not something life gives you. It is something you take back, one deliberate choice at a time.